welcome back to the channel. So for those that don't know me, my name's Caitlin. I'm 26. I really want to build a community centered around chronic health and wellness and bring more awareness to this space. I'm just wanting to share and document my life, and if you want to follow along, feel free to. You can subscribe down below, like, comment. It really does support my channel. And currently I'm working a 9 to 5 and I absolutely love it. I wanted to start this space quite a long time ago, but I always felt really stuck and really lost in terms of what I wanted it to be and what I wanted it to look like. So yeah, this is my new journey and it's super exciting. I'm just really excited to see where this goes. The only way to grow is to document, and obviously sharing that, you know, I hope to inspire those that might be struggling. I've posted a couple of shorts on my channel already, but one is my Becoming Her short that I posted. Posted that about Feb last year after questioning showing up online for so long, and I love it. I love that I was able to take something that was so raw and so dark in my life, a time that was so scary and unknown, and turn it into something so powerful and so empowering. Even as an individual myself, I find my perspective on life is so positive and I love what I've been able to do so far, and I really just want to build something out of this online space. I would love to work with brands and really love to share what I love in my life. I guess you never know where life can go unless you actually try, and I think a lot of people have the fear to show up online because of the judgment and all those things. And it's like, well, all those people that started something, they experienced that same feeling, but they decided to do the fucking thing anyway. I'm in a place now where I'm like, you know what, I've got nothing to lose, legit nothing to lose. I have a stable job that covers my bills, that covers, you know, my life and my current financial state. Like, I'm comfortable, but I'm choosing something bigger. I want something bigger for my life, and I always have, and I've always had this drive to help people. Even going through high school, I always wanted to be a cop, and it was all I ever wanted to do was help people and be someone that people could come to when they needed help. In 2020, Europe at the start of the year. After I got back, I applied for the police force during COVID. During that time it was really hard. Like, we had to try and get travel to go down and do the exam in Melbourne, which I did do that, but I was terribly unwell at the time. I was negative on all COVID tests, everything like that, so it was nothing like virusy going on. It was just fatigue and feeling so run down and burnt out generally. I was working at McDonald's at the time as an assistant restaurant manager, working, you know, 45-50 hours a week, trying to pay off my car and trying to get myself in a better position after Europe. And long and behold, I didn't pass the exam at the time. I completely just, it was like I got in that room and everything I had worked so hard for just left my mind. It was just like an automatically white screen, like there was just nothing, it was just blurred, and all I remember was just feeling this like huge wave of like, what is this, like what does this mean, what does this mean for my life? And you know, like I've grown up having faith in God, and it really hurt me. Like it really wobbled my identity and how I saw myself. Getting that rejection was probably the hardest thing I've ever had to experience in that way, but it left me to redirection. It allowed me to work harder, study harder, not knowing that me actually doing that and working harder was actually going to lead me to getting glandular fever by August of 2020. And then getting so terribly unwell. I was out of work for about 6 months. Used all my leave just to be in bed all day, struggling to get out of bed. I remember there was this day I couldn't even get to the shower. I napped in the middle of the hallway at home and I couldn't even make it to the shower. I was just in such a dark place. We had just lost my childhood lab, Molly. I'll put her photo over here. She was the most beautiful dog you'll ever meet. She was my best friend. I walked her every single day, spent all my time with her. She came as soon as I got my license. She came everywhere with me. Losing her and being so stuck in my own body, unable to move, unable to make any reason for what was going on. I was so lost. And this was only just at the age of 21. I had only just turned 21. I was always a go-getter. I always worked my butt off to get somewhere. I always wanted, you know, to keep on moving. So sick that I physically couldn't get it out of bed anyway. I remember by like the 2-month mark, I was just at the point where I was grieving my dog. I didn't want to be around my family, not wanting to, you know, you feel like your whole life, everything you'd worked so hard for coming to fruition and actually waking up to that was the biggest roadblock and the most difficult experience I ever have experienced. And coming from a place where I was so financially secure to not being, it was just such a different time. And I think adding on COVID isolation to that, it just added a triple threat. And I think about it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, Caitlin, like you're being so silly, like seriously. But no one could ever picture that we would go through a pandemic. I'd get a diagnosis that would throw a curveball. I'd get rejected from the police force. I'd lose my childhood dog. You add all that up and then having financial stress and pressure as well, it's actually a fucking lot. But yeah, like honestly, that was the pinnacle of complete isolation. And I just remember lying in bed and I was like, I just can't take any of this shit anymore. I was just like, what am I doing with this time? It was like, anyway, I was like, I love gym. Gym was my identity. I grew up loving Sarah's Day. Honestly, she was someone that I looked up to in this time as well. And I was like, fitness. What is the other main component of my life that I've changed since leaving school that has really impacted me? And it's health and fitness. And I was like, you know what? I've been doing personal training as a client for the last 3-4 years. Why don't I put my all into that? Why not while I'm laying here, I train my mind and put everything that I love into something. Give me some purpose. Give me a sense of drive, a sense of something. So I jumped online and I was looking, and Australian Institute of Fitness had a Black Friday sale. Had a call with them, explained my situation, and they were like, no, absolutely, like we'll guide you through the process. If you need a pause, if you need to, like, we can support you. So I paid my deposit. By the next day I had signed up. That next day I went back to the doctors and my levels were just so far through the roof, it was not funny. I was then sick again until it was about, yeah, it was November. And we then, at this time, we had managed to get 2 puppy Labradors, Nala and Willow. Little Nala, she is the light of my life. At that time, I was in such a dark place. I said, it was just like this feeling of hope, and I was like, this has got to be the best thing ever. So we went there the afternoon, we drove all the way out there, went and had a look, and I met this baby girl. And when I tell you, I just knew straight away I remember picking her up and I just held her and I was like, and why I fight for this and I fight for building my dream life. You're going to be the reason I show up for myself every single day. I show up for you no matter what life looks like. I'm going to honor you and I'm going to look after you. And ever since that day, that fire has not left me. In purchasing Willow, she's our other angel, and I was really lucky. There was this lady through our church that was saying they were hiring admin staff members, and I was like, this is great. It was working in the public health sector, great pay, great hours, really supportive role, and yeah, jumped into that role and I rested there for a few more years. And I guess coming into 2025, I entered a period after going to Europe again with my partner. We moved out of home, you know, we built a life for ourselves. I'm really lucky. The home that we're in a really good situation, and we have such a beautiful family that support us, and we're in a spot where financially we can get ourselves in a better situation, hopefully buy our own house in the near future, and yeah, really set up our lives. And all these things came from that one moment, investing in myself again and choosing to show up for something. And so I guess this is a reminder, no matter what you are going through, whether, just know that good things will come. No matter what it looks like, it's all about perspective. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a rundown on, I guess, why I wanted to start this channel. I was meant to get up for a walk with Nala this morning, and I just woke up feeling so dizzy, lightheaded, and so I never really document these moments, and I think it's really important to show up as I am each and every day. We all internally struggle with something, and that's what makes us human. It's what makes us strive to achieve our goals and push the envelope forward. So I guess my challenge this year is to show up as just me, and no matter what my symptoms are, no matter how I'm feeling. Can you tell how excited I am now that work's over? Oh, life's just so chaotic. Like, the amount of stuff that I have on at the moment, it's just filling my brain. And so I figure if I can take content any day of the week, if I do this and if I show up for the world, the only way you stop living in complacency and you actually take that bold action, you start to see results. There was this reel that do the things that your future self wants to do. If you do the hard things, you will actually start to see growth and things will actually start to progress, rather than being scared and actually sitting in complacency and actually not doing the thing. You're not going to get anywhere. So what's the point? You might as well just do the thing and do it anyway.